Cole, aka Trans Spirit here, a transgender human being with an emphasis on spirituality and all things metaphysical. I appreciate everybody sending out the love and light to me and my family. I'm gonna do a video about what it's really like to wake up, live a life where at some point you realize that you are somewhere in the realm of being transgender. Some of you may know from other videos I've made, I didn't know there was a word for the way I felt until I was 20, but I knew that I was transgender. I knew that I felt like a boy, but people were telling me I was a girl. I remember having feelings of just true confusion as to why I wasn't in the boy category and why I had female parts and why I didn't have a penis and why just everything that had to do with being a boy. It was everything in life to me. It confused me on a daily basis. I constantly wondered why I was a girl, and I wasn't happy about it. From that young age, I always felt like I was the boy. I felt like on the inside, on the outside. It's just something that you feel. It's just as somebody feels a certain way about themselves and they identify with that. And it's so deep in the gut. It's so a part of you that it can't be anything else. It just is. It just is. When I did start living in my truth and was honest with people about being transgender, that's when life got a lot easier for me. And I believe it probably would be a little easier if I did a transition therapy. I've always just felt, since I was aware of it at 20, it's funny because I always felt, even as a little kid, that I grew up to be a guy, and I wasn't really sure how that would happen. My mom even caught me pretending to shave with my finger and some foam soap as a kid on my face, and she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm practicing." I just always felt that I'd grow up to be a guy, but I wasn't really sure how that was going to happen. And now I see, again, technically, I could start taking hormones and really start growing a beard. But because I felt called more to a different part of the spectrum, I felt called more to focusing on things relating to the soul, focusing on more of spiritual things, reincarnation, spirituality, the study of God and consciousness. Something was telling me to stay away more from chemicals in the food, highly processed food. I used to ingest a lot of those, and the more that I got away from them, the better I felt overall, physically and mentally. And so I don't know, I was told too once by my medium that I needed to stay away from chemicals. So I felt personally called to that. For whatever reason, I just feel like I'm not supposed to have a sex change, but I'm just supposed to live life as the male that I feel I am and just do it. In a female body. So this is my life. This is what I signed up for. This is, I'm blessed to be here. I wanted to share that because I know there's got to be other people that feel that way. I've met a couple online that do feel that way. So here we are. We do identify as transgender, but we don't have the sex change for whatever reason. It mainly just felt like a gut calling that I wasn't supposed to have a sex change, and I was just trying to figure out, okay, how can I manage life by being transgender and staying in a female body? Like, how can I deal with this? The best way I've dealt with it is through spirituality and prayer and connecting to God, to source energy for strength to get through it. But I just enjoy it. Is when you start living who you feel you are and just do the things you would do. If you could do anything, what would it be? Okay, go do it. Go make it happen. If you, for instance, years ago, I thought, oh, I would just like to dress like a guy in public. It was terrifying to start dressing like a guy at first. And I did it, and I'm glad I did it. That was a huge change in my life, as silly as it might sound, was, okay, I'm going to go out to the local diner, sit down there, have a meal, and I'm going to dress like a guy because I feel like a guy. I'm tired of dressing like a girl because I feel like I'm cross-dressing when I dress like a girl. And I don't like it. So I don't like it, so there you go. So I did it. And I was so scared at first. I was terrified. But it made me feel so good to feel at home in my own clothes. I felt like I had arrived. I felt like I was reborn. I felt like it was a second chance at life. A lot of like when people have surgery too, is they feel like it's a new life. I did feel like that just from dressing the way that I wanted to dress, because there was always an argument with me and the way I dressed since I was 5. I always wanted to wear the more boyish looking clothes I had. I wanted to buy the boy clothes. I wanted the boy haircut. I just thought that I should be a boy. And here we are 30, almost 5 years later, and I still feel the exact same way. Cheers. Gender is fluid. That's where we have been taught the opposite as a society. Many societies and cultures that came before us, hundreds, thousands of years ago, hundreds and thousands, many of them believed that there were two-spirited beings and that gender is fluid. Sometimes you don't feel like a boy or a girl. You feel somewhere in between, like you don't even have a gender. That's more where I fall these days, even though it still is a complete male thing with me. And part of me wouldn't be surprised if I ended up having a sex change. But again, it's been all these years and I still feel like I'm not supposed to do that, even though I think they can be an awesome thing to do. And part of me, wonders what it would be like to do that, because I would feel more at home. But I feel like I'm supposed to be as chemical free as possible on a spiritual level. It's interesting too to me because when I first felt this way, like I wasn't supposed to be on any kind of hormone replacement, like putting anything into my body didn't sound like I was supposed to do that. I think a big reason is I was on Ritalin for most of my childhood, and it negatively affected me overall. And I didn't like the thought of taking something again. And for years, I felt like I pulled more toward a holistic lifestyle and wondering what that was about, feeling like that was right for me. It just took me years to get there. Because I drank for many years and I didn't eat healthy. Though it took time, but I felt like, I shouldn't add in another chemical. Maybe because I knew it was like for life that I would be taking replacement hormones. I don't know. But I've been feeling that way since 2004. It's now 2019. And I still feel like I'm supposed to be just the way I am, but living how I feel from the inside out. And that I'm not supposed to have the sex change this time around. I don't know why, but I kind of know why. I just feel like maybe it's a part of my karma. Maybe the world needs a few more people that feel this way. I couldn't tell you exactly why I feel this way. I just do. Really, I think that there's a lot of people out there that feel the same, where we are more of what people would call gender fluid, gender queer, non-binary. We don't land in the spectrum of boy or girl, although we might feel like one more than the other, or we might feel like both at the same time, or we might not feel like either or. I want to thank you all for visiting my channel. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. If you're digging these videos, I'm going to have more videos about being transgender and also more of things that are metaphysical. If you like to see more of my videos, please hit the bell notification and you'll be updated on every time I make a new video. I also love to see you on Facebook and Instagram, Trans Spirit Indigo and Trans Spirit. Thank you for watching, and everybody have a wonderful day. Much love.